So we have breaking news real quick.
Okay.
I do have to mention this, but Schefter just reported and Mary Kay confirmed Jack Conklin out for the season, torn MCL and ACL. Not a surprise after what we saw. That means Dawand Jones, as G. Bush predicted before the season, will be thrust into action a lot sooner
well, let's
than
do this.
we
Let's
expected.
call
did
an
a good
audible.
job.
We'll call an audible. Instead of talking about Chubb right here, let's instead talk about the offensive line.
Yeah.
Because, by the way, I thought they appropriately pointed out during the game that we have to talk about Dawand Jones because we haven't talked about Dawand Jones.
I know you, Jason, you thought maybe he's not ready. We haven't seen any PFF grades. I'm not watching Dawand Jones on every single play, but it seemed like he did a great job yesterday.
I isolated him on a number of plays and went back and watched a number of plays. I'm sure you guys did too. I mean, he held his own. And that's all you can ask for this guy to do. It was his first live bullet NFL action. And I thought he held his own. You're over there with a smirk on your face. What are they saying behind closed doors?
We'll see.
They don't
see. No, listen, let me tell you.
They think Jedrick Wills is good. Come on now.
No. All right, so I was kind of poking around on the whole Dawand thing after the game. And I don't want to poo-poo a win. It's a win and everything else. But I think this tackle thing is going to become a real problem. Jed was terrible yesterday, and I'm the one who was defending him. I was defending him last week.
You even said, I can't believe I'm going to die on that hill.
Awful.
You did.
And I died a bloody death. Now, it's one game. It's one game.
It's not one game, though, Jason. It's been a few years. He's not very good.
He's average. He was terrible Sunday. I still think he's average.
You're not going to drop him below average?
He's average.
He was below average yesterday.
Oh, for sure he was below average. Yeah. But Dawand on the other side, the way that explained to me is he has a ton of missed assignments. And you may not see them because we don't know the play calls. We don't know the blocking schemes. And I've even said, Brian Baldinger just raves about this guy and the PFF grades. And I get eye rolls like, okay, well, they don't know what we're trying to do here. His missed assignments in the preseason was in the double digits. If that happens in the regular season, there's going to be massive problems.
He's a rookie playing one of the most difficult positions to come in and play right away.
And why did they start him over Hudson if they're so concerned?
But that's the thing. He's obviously outplayed Hudson at least. He's higher on the depth chart than James Hudson.
Yeah.
And Hudson got absolutely cooked in Pittsburgh 2 years ago.
No, let's not even talk about
And now here we go again with the rookie right tackle who may or may not be ready lining up against TJ Watt next Monday night.
That's going to be that's the biggest worry that I have going into Monday night is that
so
right there.
physically, Dawand Jones is ready to play in the NFL right now. There is no question about it.
Yeah.
It's here.
Yeah.
It's the maturity and it's the mental. Is he ready for it? We're going to find out.
By the way, I'm not just saying this because of the injury, because you and I both said this last year. I thought it was a terrible decision.
I didn't like
Browns have made a lot of good decisions. I thought it was lately, I thought there was a terrible decision to extend Jack Conklin because he was always hurt, and now he's hurt again.
That's going to be a nightmare contract.
Awful.
Nightmare
it's going to come back to haunt him.
He may be done. Like, done.
Well, listen, that double tear, I don't know if you had the double tear. I had the double tear.
I didn't have the MCL. I had the meniscus.
And he's old for an alignment at this point.
Tough.
You know?
It's tough.
He's
only
a
29.
linear.
I looked it up.
He's linear.
That's oldish.
He's linear. He stands up a lot. He does not bend his legs that well. He's an athletic build below the waist, generally speaking. And here's the thing: I got compared to the rest of my trunk, I got you're scared with people who have smallish type legs because you can't absorb that. If you see the play. He's kind of blocking backside, and a lot of those guys, he got rolled up on. But that's why they teach the flexibility. That's why they want the flexibility in your legs and your hips. He just came off a really bad injury, and that's why I was so shocked when they gave him this contract. I'm like, whoa.
Everybody was.
I said, I thought he was about to retire, and he's done. But I will say, go ahead, McNuggets.
On Conklin, just before you guys go into Dawand Jones, his contract situation is an issue.
Yes.
And just so we're all on the same page, his contract for this year, his guaranteed money is $14 million. Next year, and he signed the extension.
Why would they do
if
that?
they cut him, which he's injured, so I'm not sure you can cut him, but his dead cap would be $22 million. He's due $13 million
They can't
next
cut
season.
him.
And then in 2025, where they have a potential out, the guaranteed money goes down.
Yeah, it was a big mistake.
His dead cap hits $15 million.
Yeah.
It was a big mistake. But in the short term, I don't know. That's the thing. That's part of the reason you got Deshaun Watson. We'll get into details about how he played. It's amazing. We're 44 minutes in. We haven't really talked about the quarterback much. But when you have a quarterback like Deshaun Watson, who the best part of his game yesterday was his legs.
Absolutely.
And he's got to bail you out when the offensive line can't get the job done. a great quarterback, and certainly an athletic quarterback, can help you overcome struggles from an offensive line. And the tackles are certainly an issue right now. They're good in the middle. The interior's good.
They're very sound in the middle.
Yeah.
I'm woefully concerned about the
and let's face it, that's where you need to be strong.
Yes, but I'd be more concerned if they had a statue quarterback.
Now, here's what
it could be catastrophic.
Right.
I will say this about Dawand Jones. Now, look, he has the stature. He has what's on tape that looks good. Here's the thing. Sometimes when you're a young player, you know, this happens to a lot of linemen. Everything on the offensive lineman is a hierarchy type thing. You sit behind so-and-so. You sit behind Teller. You behind Joe Thomas. You behind Myles Garrett. So you may not really necessarily, you know, have the opportunity to be on the whiteboard when they're asking you, what do you do here? What do you do here? You're not on the spot. But then what happens, your talent takes over. You're just more talented than they are. And then now it's your coach's opportunity to hammer the mental stuff. Because here's the thing, Dawand Jones is physically better than Conklin, and he's physically better than Jedrick Wills.
Yes.
But now it's like, okay, sometimes you get in the game, and now it's like, oh, you up now. Oh, you better come prepared, come ready to go. Sometimes when you're a young dude, you don't have that until you thrust into that position. It's a Monday night game. I fully expect Bill Callahan to have him ready. I fully expect Teller to be telling him, hey, yo, this is what we got on this play. There was times when I was playing, I would tap somebody and be like, hey, what we got on this play?
Right.
See, and, you know, we had guys, Rhodes Scholars type guys, and they say, G. Bush, you go do this. And I'm like, okay, cool. I could do that. And you know what? Eventually you grow into it. I don't have
Do you?
Yeah,
because
you eventually get it.
There's been times with Jed Wills where he's looking around like I'm the only guy at a party.
Well, not everybody grows into it, but
not everybody. But Dawand Jones has at least had Baldinger show us some stuff. He showed me physically, and he don't quit. He ain't quit on no plays.
I know.
And Jed been here 4 years doing this. Now, my scary thing is this: I don't trust Hubbard. I don't trust Hudson. I don't trust Hudson that much either. And so it's like, you know, this is where you look at Jason and you say, okay, well, now we're going to have to figure something out, because obviously Conklin is out and Jed Wills is going to have to play.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's no out. There's nothing else. We already got one man down. He's going to have to play.
I'm concerned. The only reason I'm not 5 alarm bell concerned is because Callahan is guiding the ship. Like, we couldn't ask for a better offensive line coach to get this kid up to speed. Now, you said Callahan will have him ready. The problem is he's fighting Muhammad Ali next Monday.
Yes, he is.
Like with TJ Watt, it's going to be, the learning curve is going to be dramatic.
And they just got their ass whipped yesterday.
I know they did. So they're coming in angry on a Monday night with a fueled up crowd.
Yes.
It's going to be a tough ask.
Get ready. All practice week, he should be above. Myles Garrett should be giving him basketball moves. We're getting ready. Don't even put the pads on. This is TJ Watt going to the hole. So don't foul.
Jason says, keep an eye on this, a close eye on this, because it could get.
I'm just not that worried about it. I know it's a concern. I just feel like, and as when we get it, are we getting into Watson here? Or are we getting into Chubb? What are we getting?
I think both. We'll start with Chubb and then go to Watson, just because Chubb was.
Now, hold on. Can I say this though? I'm not a hater. I thought Jed Wills overall on the run game played pretty well. I think he reached this guy 3 or 4 times. There was plays on the left-hand side where Chubb was running the stretch play. Jed Wills was able to – he walled off guys getting to the next level. I thought he had a big game when it comes to the run.
Yeah, but I think it's always been in the pass block where he's been like, where is he?
He had the D when it came to –
That's all well and good, because I just said last week he's not getting guys killed over there, and he damn near got Deshaun killed yesterday.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, he got Conklin hurt.
Sure, he did.
He got Conklin hurt.
I mean, that's a little bit of a bridge.
The guy he was battling with fell into Conklin.
I know, but that's one of those fluky things guys get rolled up on all the time.
I hear you.
I know what you're saying.
But his weakness on that play led to that injury, essentially. But I just think Deshaun Watson, Mikey, I think we got to get into Watson
we are going to get to Watson. But I have one thing first. I got a read, and then we got a bridge, and then you'll see what I'm going to do here. But before we do anything. If you guys haven't had enough Browns content between the post-game show, today's show,
3.7.
G. Bush is on the barbershop today on the UCSSU at 3 o'clock for his secondary reaction. He'll be reacting to the Browns win. He'll be reacting to our reactions
It's a lot of reaction going on.
G. Bush,
Reacting to reaction.
I'm not sure he has any more Kool-Aid to take, any more Kool-Aid to drink, but guess what? What do you got on the table, G. Bush? Steve, let's drop the graphic. Let's show G. Bush. He's got packs of Kool-Aid galore. The barbershop will be lit. That is at 3 o'clock today. Make sure you check out G.
One
Bush
free
on
pack
the
of
barbershop.
Kool-Aid for every viewer.
Can we drop that graphic, by the way? Can we get the Kool-Aid Mafia going? Is that possible? Can we get them going? The Kool-Aid Mafia is alive and well. Can we get that? I got all kind of flavors in here that don't even exist. Pina colada, pineapple, and there you go. Right there, ready for the people. I don't play around. You said you wanted the shirts, the Kool-Aid Mafia. Right there with the beautiful pole in the back. Big Red is his name.
Who drew that?
Big Red. Listen, I got drawers and artists everywhere.
Bro, you're smoking.
Yeah, listen, look at him smoking that cigar. That's a cigar. That ain't.
You got a sweet in your mouth.
G. Bush, question about this. Don't drop this graphic. This is a question. Did you have to spell Kool-Aid with a C instead of a K?
I was wondering the same thing.
Copyright
Yeah, I'm
infringes?
sure he did. Yeah, I'm sure he did.
G. Bush don't get sued very often. No. We're smart over there. Shout out to my legal team. Hey, my mom had to scrub that thing 4 or 5 times. No, take the cool off. No, I don't know how I feel about him smoking a cigar. I finally got that passed. But the Kool-Aid Mafia, I got the shirts and the hats coming. Ooh, next week. I told you I wasn't playing around.
Is your mom the legal team?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk Watson after the announcement, but before that, and Jason, it ties it all together. You wrote an article this morning about Deshaun Watson, and specifically his touchdown run. And there's a member of the offensive line. Before we get off the offensive line, I think this is a nice transition into that. What made that play call so unique, and what was the key to that? Because on our phone call last night, you said you don't think a certain player could have executed, and then we're not talking about Deshaun Watson, a certain offensive lineman couldn't have executed that the way he did yesterday last season.
All right, so we'll start there. I think the whole key, I don't know if you have it or not, the whole key to the touchdown run late in the first half, they're at the 2nd and 10 from the 13, and Deshaun cans the play, checks into a run, and scores the touchdown, and everyone
Didn't
celebrates.
they have trips to the right?
Trips right.
Yeah.
So the key to the whole play, though, was man coverage on the left. It was Amari Cooper manned up on the left side. Bengals are showing blitz, so they bring 2 linebackers to the line of scrimmage, and they had trips right. So Deshaun cans the play, motions Jerome Ford to the right. The whole key to it, though, really was the Wyatt Teller block. And you'll see it on the replay. Wyatt Teller had chips. I think it was Trey Hendrickson. And
Can we take that full tag board?
I don't know that he gets there last year because Wyatt had so many injuries. We've kind of talked about it before. He was battling a calf injury. He had bursitis in his knee. He had a high ankle sprain. He had a lot going on. And I don't think that he gets there.
Wow.
But this is why you're paying Wyatt Teller $17 million a year. Because I don't evaluate guards. Like, that's not what I do. But from everything I've been told, he's one of the best pulling guards in the NFL. He's a mauler at run blocking. And you marry the two together, and here he comes there. He gets just enough of a chip in to spring Deshaun on that play.
Yeah.
Now, the Browns, and Kevin kind of touched on this at the podium. Kevin and AVP put this play in Saturday morning as a last-minute add to the game plan. They were waiting for this particular look from Cincinnati to check into the play. And I was talking to some players in the locker room afterwards. I actually called Tyvis as well to let's go through this. And basically, Tyvis could probably explain this better than me, but they were going to bring pressure from the middle, and the Browns weren't exactly sure where the pressure was going to come from, but it didn't matter because they had the numbers to match it. The key was Hendrickson coming from the outside and Wyatt being able to get there to chip him. And like I said, last year, I don't think Wyatt gets there because he
barely
was so
got him,
up.
but he got him
He barely
enough.
got him, but but that's a lot you're asking on your right guard.
No doubt.
I mean, you know better than anybody what you're asking.
Especially against an athlete like
That's
Hendricks.
a long
That's not
pool. You got to be athletic. It's wet outside.
So they were waiting that whole drive. They felt that whole drive like the Bengals were going to give them that look. And when they finally got that look, they got it just in time. And this is how big of a play that was because there's 13 seconds left and the Browns had to burn their last timeout like 2 plays before that. So they're out of timeouts. If Wyatt doesn't get to that block or if Deshaun gets stopped short, they got to clock it, and they're probably kicking a field goal.
Right.
Yeah.
That kind of ended the game to me at 10-0. It felt like it was over. It was a great play. Hendrickson had been having a great first half.
Yeah.
So for him, that's why the Bengals felt confident and kind of leaving Hendrickson alone on that side, basically.
Yeah.
And he did just enough on that play.
Now they end up winning 24-3, but it's in the moment. You're right. That felt like a huge play. It's a big difference going into the half, 6-0 or 10-0.
Yeah.
And to call, it was a gutsy call because you're out of timeouts. And if he doesn't make it, you're settling for
and,
3.
You know, it's hard to say how the game plays out if the score had been a field goal there. But remember, when the Bengals went for it from the 20-yard line or whatever it was and got sacked, instead of it being 17-3 in that spot, it's 13-3.
Yeah.
And maybe they punt, hope their defense holds. Who knows what happens and how the game plays out.
Yeah.
But it's really funny. You talk so often about the little things.
Yep.
Like, it's all of these little things. A lot of times someone will say, well, it came down to the last play. Well, every play in the game, there was a little thing that happened. A little thing. The effort is free. Did the team that gave the most effort win that play? And more often than not, if you win more plays during the course of the game, you're going to come out on top. And yesterday, they just won the vast majority of every play.
Yeah.
It was really something. Now, on offense, you know, it wasn't a stellar performance. It really wasn't. I think the Bengals pretty much gifted them 7 points. However, the Browns were on their way to a touchdown when they had the Ford fumble. So you can probably say that, you know, take one away, give the other one there. It's still a 24-point performance by the offense. I was fascinated by what they did with Nick Chubb. The 4 catches, it seems small, but without having Kareem Hunt in this offense, and I know Jerome Ford is there are issues there. We've talked about our concerns at running back. The way they used Nick Chubb yesterday, for me, is the blueprint for how they should use him every single game. He was still under 20 carries. He went over 100 yards. The 4 catches, to me, just plants the seed in the defense that, oh, this guy's a ball catcher now.
He was their leading receiver yesterday. He was their leading receiver with 4 catches.
In number.
Not in yardage.
Right, not in yards.
No, but in
numbers.
receptions.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, they didn't throw. I mean, Watson didn't throw the ball particularly well yesterday.
No,
No, but what made it so nice was on a day where the weather dictated that it was going to be difficult to throw the football.
Yeah.
And let's face it, wet or not, Deshaun Watson did not have a good day.
No.
His first pass was overthrown. And I think after that, he tried to adjust, not putting as much on, because a lot of times the quarterback's hyped up. You'll see that first throw sails high. Watch the Super Bowl. It's almost every first throw for all the quarterbacks, the ball sails high. But then he was missing low.
I mean, in terms of throwing the ball, he had a terrible day.
Awful.
Let's be honest.
Awful.
He had a terrible day.
But the Browns shifted and said, we've got number 24.
Right, but ultimately, they need Deshaun Watson to play better if they're going to consistently win and win games that matter when it matters.
They do, but what was nice was this blueprint proves that, yes, it's a passing league. You got to pass to win, and both in the micro and the macro. However, if the passing game isn't there in a game in December,
right,
you've got number 24.
This is